In sports, if you want to be the best, there are no off days. Welcome to a special edition of the No Off Days podcast. He's Chris, I am Scott, and this week on the nodpod, we want to do something a little bit different. We're going to have a little bit more fun, dare I say.
Is that possible?
Than most weeks on this show. Yes, we are going to add to our acronyms. So this week's show is not a nodpod, but it's a nodpod pod.
Is that for our dad bods?
No,
What?
I'm afraid not. It's a best of discussion. That's right. We have a lot of discussions on the show.
Best of discussion.
A nod pod. I know you're with me. We've had a lot of great discussions over the little life of our old show here. Some between Chris and I.
Yeah.
And they turn into debates. Sometimes we then some between, Chris, myself, and BK. And sometimes we have guests that join the fray. So we are going to let the discussions begin on this show. And with that, where we always begin, we bring BK in. So BK, I know we're not one to take many victory laps and pat ourselves on the back for all the accomplishments that we've had on this show. We don't do that kind of thing. But are you excited to have a little throwback episode?
I am excited to see how far we've come with this little program we've came up with.
I think we'll find that nothing has changed. I really think, the quality we brought on episode 1 is still the same quality we put out today.
Well, we have a lot of great discussions to get to on this nodpod bod, and we will have much more to come. BK, thank you. Chris, thank you. And this is where you can find all of our episodes. We invite you to listen and watch. Go to fox13news.com/nodpod if you're watching and you want to listen or subscribe. You could take out your phone. You could zap the QR code on the screen in the bottom right-hand corner, and there you will find all of our shows. Please subscribe, fox13news.com/nodpod. The Bucs went into the most recent draft here, and there was a position of need that they had to address, and that was edge rusher.
Right.
And people thought maybe you're going to do it in the first, second round. No, the Bucs waited until the fourth round, but I think, Chris, they got a really good one. This is he was destroying teams at the FCS level. So big jump into the NFL from FCS, but David Walker, he had 30-plus sacks in 3 years at UCA, 60 or more tackles for loss. This should be a good one. We had an opportunity earlier this week to catch up with fourth-round selection David Walker.
Let's jump right into it. I mean, day one of Bucs rookie minicamp, and Todd Bowles is already mentioning you by name as a guy that impressed right out of the gates on day one. I know it's just shorts and it's shirts and a helmet, but what was that first rookie minicamp kind of life in the NFL experience like for you?
It was long. It was long for sure, but it was a learning experience. Just being able to get in the playbook. They just throw plays at us, and we gotta digest those real quick. It's been a learning experience for sure.
I watch your tape. I see the ridiculous numbers you put up in 3 seasons. I mean, 30-plus sacks, 60 tackles for. I mean, you're just destroying guys at that level. And I think everybody's question is, how does that translate? How does an FCS player now translate in the NFL? I know you just kind of got a taste of it, but what is your feel of how your skills will translate at this next level?
Yeah, man. A wise man once told me, man, that sacks travel. And I feel like I'm pretty good at the things that I do. And man, just learning from the coaches, just learning new techniques, new ways to win, and new ways to just to develop me more as a pass rusher. And I feel like in those couple 3 days, I've been learning ways to beat bigger tackles, to beat. I know I ain't went up against Tristan Wirfs or Luke yet, but I'm excited to. I'm excited to see where I stand up against those guys, because Tristan's one of the best in NFL football. So. Just learning. I'm just learning.
Well, and I'm sure you kind of had many pinch yourself moments here over the last week plus. What was from draft day experience to flying into Tampa to then walking in the facility? Was there a moment that really kind of floored you more than any of the others?
Yeah, really just seeing the vets, seeing the guys that's on TV. Like today, I saw Mike Evans. I was like, bro, that's Mike Evans. Then yesterday, I saw Baker. I was like, bro, what the crap? And it was just like a surreal moment, because I'm coming from FCS. I really don't see top guys like that. So just seeing those guys and just knowing that I'm teammates with those guys, it was a surreal moment.
Every rookie kind of has, most at least, have a plan on what their first big purchase is going to be. Have you thought about that?
No, man. I'm really not a materialistic guy, but I'll give my mom a car for sure. she needs one. So that'll probably be my first big purchase.
Are you going to have an opportunity to get out on a boat here in the Bay and do some deep sea fishing? Have you talked to anybody about that?
Yeah, my coach actually from UCA, he just retired. He lives in Florida and he has a boat. So we're gonna talk some stuff up and see what can happen.
That's like the number one thing. You move to Florida, you have to have a boat friend, somebody that already has a boat. So
Yeah.
you're already 10 steps ahead of everybody else. Well, you know what? Welcome to Tampa, and I think folks that have seen your tape are extremely excited about the prospects of what you could potentially do in this defense. And I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us. I know on a busy day.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Stay with us. This special edition of the No Off Days podcast will be back right after this. Welcome back to the nodpod bod. Chris, it's our best of discussion show. What do you say we dial up another one?
I love it. It's better than the nodpod wad, the worst of discussions.
Only the best for you. Let's check it out. This book is Inner Excellence. Train your mind for extraordinary performance and the best possible life. The author is Jim Murphy. This book was released initially a while back, right, years ago, and it suddenly overnight shot up the bestsellers list back in January after it was spotted on the sideline being read during a playoff game between the Eagles and the Packers by A.J. Brown, receiver for the Eagles. And suddenly it's like in the limelight. It goes from, it was ranked 552,709th on the Amazon bestsellers list to number one, just like that.
Wow.
So what do you say we talk to the guy that wrote this book right now?
Jim Murphy, author of Inner Excellence, is with us. And Jim, I'm sure just about every author on the planet saw the notoriety that Inner Excellence received and thought, I got to get my book into the hands of some NFL players for some in-game reading. It seems so out of place on the sideline. So how surreal was it to see your book getting so much exposure?
Yeah, it was really crazy. I mean, all the things, that little miracles that lined up that week and continue to line up. It's just amazing that God would choose me to be the messenger for this message.
And at that point, everybody's curiosity is piqued. So wanting to know, hey, what's in it? What's it about? And why in a moment like a playoff game, while the, I guess, proverbial bullets are firing, is a guy calmly reading it on the sideline? Tell us about that. Inner Excellence is about self-mastery. And so when clients come to me, so I'm a mental skills coach, performance coach, get paid to help pro athletes perform better. So obviously they come to me when they're underperforming. And so often they're so obsessed, like I was my whole life, and like most people, obsessed with results and circumstances. I just got to get better results and better circumstances. But as you know, today in our world, in America today, there's so much out of our control, and it can feel very chaotic and stressful and anxiety inducing. Like, what am I going to do? And so with Inner Excellence, we focus on developing your inner world, your inner strength, and what you can control. And because what you focus on, you're going to move towards. And so it's really easy to focus on what you can't control and things that you're afraid of. So A.J. Brown, amazingly, one of the greatest receivers in the NFL, he had a fear. He was called a chicken when he was younger and just afraid. And so he's, obviously he's done so well. And I think one of the things that he resonated with Inner Excellence is having that clear mind and unburdened heart. Because when you're going over the middle and that guy's trying to take off your head, it can be really, really scary. And so he's got to go in there with that clear mind. So sports psychology obviously has become a really big part of athletics, professional, college, and even lower than that. But, we all know that athletes train their body. What percentage of success in athletics do you think is physical versus the side that you are kind of focused on, the mental aspect of it? Here's how you can think about it. If you take Tiger Woods in his prime and you gave him an average golfer's mental game, he's still on the PGA Tour. If you gave him Tiger Woods' mental game and an average golfer's physical game, he's not on the PGA Tour. And so the physical game is really crucial, but they are closely intertwined, super close. We're organically connected to our heart and mind. And Inner Excellence, you mentioned sports psychology, which is amazing, which obviously I use.
but inner excellence is a little deeper. We go to the heart. The belief with inner excellence that's different than psychology, sports psychology anyway, is that your heart is the key to your life, your spirit, your will, the deepest part of you, that where your greatest hopes and greatest fears are. We need to get to that if you want to have the most peace and confidence under the most pressure.
It sounds like the success of this book has kind of led to some exciting opportunities kind of beyond the pages of the book.
Yeah, it's been incredible, really, really surreal. And the first week I was really actually surprised that everyone wanted to talk about me, the author, but really I'm just the messenger. The message is what's the big deal that AJ is reading. That selfless is fearless, and then when you pursue a purpose beyond yourself and you focus on developing your inner world, then anything is possible.
So I guess the big question at this point is, will you be receiving a Super Bowl ring?
It's so, the Eagles fans are so amazing. They're so passionate, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this city. And I'm actually going to be going to Philadelphia tomorrow to do a book signing at Barnes and Noble. But I'm also going to be working with inner city youth in Kensington with Shane Claiborne. So excited about that. Like I said, I'm just a messenger. I'm really insignificant as far as everything else goes.
Well, if you want to catch the message, you can find it on Amazon or wherever you get your books. Inner Excellence, Train Your Mind for Extraordinary Performance and the Best Possible Life. He is Jim Murphy. Jim, thanks for carving out some time with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it has been a fun show so far, talking with some of the great guests that we've had on this show. And if you stick around, we got another one after the break. Welcome back to this very special edition of the No Off Days podcast. Chris, we've been having some great discussions on this show, and I say we don't waste any more time. I don't even want you to say another word because we have another interview to get to. No, silence. Check it out. Every year, Chris, I make that drive down to Sarasota and pull into the Ritz-Carlton, feel like I'm underdressed and underprepared, but I'm going to hang out with a lot of people that I watch on TV a lot. And that is because it's the Dickie V Gala every year. Very fancy. They do it at the Ritz-Carlton. This year, unfortunately, I just didn't get a chance to go. And so we're going to make up for it a little bit because we need to catch up with somebody that was there, boots on the ground, to find the kind of impact that night has in particular. Up next, our next guest on the nodpod, John Allhart from the V Foundation joins us.
I'm sad to have missed the Dickie V Gala. It seems like all the big names are there each and every year, and I know that they show up in part because of the love they have for Dick Vitale, but it's also the cause that's behind it. Tell me about, I guess what I missed in the big Dickie V Gala down in Sarasota.
Yeah, it was a big night with the 20th annual Dick Vitale Gala. As you know, always a star-studded event. And this year, we were pleased to announce $12.5 million raised, and now, throughout the duration of the gala so far to date, over $105 million raised for the V Foundation's Dick Vitale Pediatric Cancer Research Fund, which truly is amazing, speaks to Dick's relentless commitment to helping these all courageous kids, to supporting the best in cancer research, to honor his good friend Jim Valvano. And it really is always a special night, mostly because of Dick and those kids, and then obviously the cause and where the money's going.
Yeah, I got to think in terms of like money raised, you probably have certain tentpole events, but from an annual fundraising standpoint, how does the gala measure up each and every year?
It really is one of our top events each and every year. And what we're really proud of at the V Foundation too is that 100% of the proceeds go right to research. So we have an endowment that covers additional expenses. So when you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donations going right to the cause, right to the research. Proud to date to have funded 241 grants in the pediatric cancer research space, nearly 92 million. Obviously now with this year's fundraising, we'll be going over 100 million in money granted. So truly is a special night. V Foundation is a special organization, and the fact that 100% goes right to the cause, and that we support only the best of the best in cancer research, which, as you know, with Dickie V, that's what he wants. He only wants to be the best and support the best.
Well, and for a guy that has gone through his own battle here in recent years, and I know that Dickie was deemed cancer-free earlier this year, and that's amazing, but when you see his passion, it almost feels infectious, I feel like, to everybody else that's around him, because I don't think he slowed down at all during his own struggles.
He really hasn't. And, Dan Hurley, the UConn head coach, during his speech mentioned just that. He's like, I feel like when I'm hearing from Dick and I'm getting all these texts and the updates, I'm hearing from one of my players, a 20-year-old kid. He has that unbelievable energy, unbelievable commitment. If you drop a name of an all courageous kid, he will give you their story, front, center, back, the whole thing, easily. He knows and really cares about each and every person in that room, and for the mission. His energy is unbelievable, and it doesn't surprise me that he's beat cancer 4 times, because he does live into Jim's mantra of don't give up, don't ever give up.
And I know that these days he does try to save his voice a little bit, and it sounds like he's going to be using it a little bit more, because I heard a major announcement was made in terms of his own contract at ESPN during the gala. Is that right?
That was a fun moment. Yeah, not bad, right? To get a 2-year contract extension during your own gala. So Jimmy Pitaro from ESPN made that announcement, and I think everyone who saw Dick on the air this year during the games loved that he was back on. He still knows college basketball as good as anyone, and he brings it each and every time he's on the air. And he's changed the sport. And so for him to be able to still be involved in the sport and to keep going, we're all thrilled about that.
John, I appreciate your time. I feel like I got to experience a little bit through your recapping of the event, but next year we'll be back at it. But how can people learn more about the V Foundation, how they can lock arms with you guys and contribute to the cause?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Scott. The best place to go, v.org/Vital. So v.org/Vital. You'll learn all about the Dick Vitale Pediatric Cancer Research Fund. You'll learn all about the gala. And next year, it's going to be even better, more great honorees, including Jamie Valvano, who will be 20 years cancer-free in August. She is Jim's daughter. When he said cancer research may not save my life, it may save someone I love, she is the someone he loved, and she'll be sharing her story next year.
John, we appreciate your time. Thanks for telling our viewers a little bit about what the great work you guys have been doing over the years. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, appreciate it as well, and look forward to seeing you next year.
I'll be there, man.
Chris, coming up is our 4th block. What do we always call it?
I can talk this time.
Yes.
We always call it our fun block.
Our
with
fun
BK.
block. The best of fun block. It's coming up next. Welcome back to the nodpod. Every week, Chris, we try to end the show with some type of game that BK has conjured up. He does a good job at that.
Leave them laughing and leave us confused. That's our motto.
And we have one of our favorites to share with you.
I'm going to put 4 different items up there, and simply all you got to do is say one of these has to go, like completely disappear forever. You
and
choose.
we have to justify it, right? I would assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty simple. You want the first one?
Give me that first quad box, BK.
There we go. One of these must go. A bed, a couch, pillows, or a blanket. One of those has to go.
Okay. Couch, bed, pillows, and blankets. I'm going to say bed goes.
You're getting rid of your bed?
Yeah, because I'll sleep on the couch. How am I going to watch TV? If I have friends over, are they all hanging out on my couch or on my bed?
Well, depends on what kind of friends you have, I guess.
No, nobody wants that. And then you got to make your bed every day.
Yeah.
But with a couch, I can't sleep without pillows. Need pillows, mandatory. That's my number 1 on this entire list. And I got to have a blanket. I can't sleep uncovered. Like if the blankets come off in the middle of the night, that's one thing. But I got to start from this position here.
You need your little security blanket, don't you?
I need to sniff it.
Yeah.
That's right. What about you guys?
I would. It's a tough choice, but I'm like you with a pillow. I cannot sleep without a pillow. I gotta have a couch. I mean, I gotta have a place to watch TV, to entertain. I don't want to sleep on the couch. That reminds me when if you and the spouse are fighting and you've got to go spend the night on the couch. No one wants that. So
it's not the worst thing in the world.
I'm gonna get true. I'm gonna go blanket. Yeah. I can do without a blanket.
Do you kick your AC on at night?
I do.
Okay.
But I could.
You like it nice and chilly?
I have a bedspread. I don't need a blanket if I've got a bedspread.
Wait. Bedspread.
I'll just use the bedspread.
That is a blanket.
You don't know a bedspread is different than a blanket.
No. BK, you need to clarify this.
Help us out.
There's no, a blanket is in like no coverings, like nothing, right?
If you do away blankets, but you could get a super large beach towel and use. That's what I was thinking. There's something you can cover up. You cannot replace.
No,
like,
you're gaming the system.
Okay, you're
now.
telling me that I can't. Okay. Well,
like I
still,
could fold up a jacket.
I can sleep.
Okay, well, my couch is going to be a pull-out couch then. How about that?
It could
That's
be a
smart.
sofa bed.
I
Smart.
could sleep without a blanket, and so I'll just sleep in clothes. I'll be fine. Put
Yeah.
on some long
That's
PJs.
weird. That you can't live that way.
I could do that.
That's no way
I've
to
done
live.
it. I've slept in clothes.
Yeah,
plenty
for
of times.
in a temporary situation.
Yeah, on the couch as
Temporary.
well.
No, nobody wants to.
You
live
can
that
easily
way.
replace pillows. You can easily like substitute blankets.
No, it's
but
hard
you
to
can't-
replace pillows. Like I
Well-
have to have the right pillow.
What are you
I
gonna
know.
what are you gonna sleep on? Books?
That's what I'm saying. You got to have a bed. You got to have a couch.
Wadded up, dirty
So-
laundry?
Your stuffed animals.
No, you guys can't have a workaround. You can't create something into that object.
Why not?
Okay, well I agree that we shouldn't have a workaround. So I'm getting rid of the blanket. I don't need it. It's not. We're in Florida.
I
You
don't
don't need
be- I
a
don't believe
blanket in
this guy.
Florida.
No, I agree.
No, but you don't sleep outside. Is that
Right.
another option? Your house.
It's a hammock. I'm in the hammock.
I'm gonna
tonight.
tent it, man. I'm gonna go tent. Yeah. All right. Weirdos.
All right, you want the next one?
What was BK's?
BK.
I said either blanket or pillow because you could easily substitute something for those two things.
Yeah.
I think
You
it's
cannot
tough to.
If you don't have a bed, there's nothing you can substitute for that to equal
Yeah,
a bed.
absolutely. There is
What?
a couch.
Yeah, come on, but you can't always sleep on the couch with your whole family, like your
I'll
wife on the
have
couch.
so many pillows that I'm just gonna make a nest of pillows.
There you go.
I'm gonna sleep in my nest
With his blankie.
on the floor. Yep. Not a bad show, Chris. What did you think of the bod?
It's never looked better.
All right. The Nod Pod Bod, the best of discussions. Thanks for watching. On behalf of BK and the rest of our Nod Pod crew, until the next time we are on, there are no off days.